Well, while I wait for Twitch app, might as well get the rest of the stream set up. I don't even have my PlayStation emulator open. There we go. Losing some. There we go. Why are they so happy to kill each other? That's something I never understood. How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to, as the gentleman said, Mega Man X4, the Stream Edition. Last time, we actually beat the game. We beat the entire game on X's side of the campaign, but as I explained previously, there's one other character who we can play the game as, and that would be Zero. So, today, we're going to play through the game as Zero. Do I want Giga Attack on Circle? I guess I got used to it. It's fine. Okay, so without further ado, let's actually get into the real meat and potatoes of the story for Mega Man X4. Not that there's that much story to go around, but if there is story to go around, the vast majority of it is in Zero's side of the story. So let's play the game as him and see what we've been missing on X's side. Granted, most story beats are exactly the same, with a few small exceptions, and we'll see what they are as we go here. Starting with this one.
Who are you?
My masterpiece.
But who are you?
After him, he is my nemesis. Our rivalry is what gives me motivation in life. Now go. Destroy him. That's an order.
But wait!
Emergency! Emergency! All Maverick hunters on call should assemble immediately.
The same dream again.
All Maverick hunters on call should assemble immediately.
Apparently he's had that dream once before, or several times before. Wonder how often he's had that happen. Mavericks emerge at the point 5567. They've occupied Sky Lagoon. This looks like Rebel Force is doing. Rebel Force? Okay, I'm on my way. Needless to say, you know how I said last time that I took inspiration for a lot of the voice acting that I try to do from the voice acting in X4? Zero is the exception to the rule, because his voice actor in this game, nothing against him, just I can't stand a word that comes out of his mouth. So that's how that works. Zero is quite a bit different in terms of how he plays from X, because he no longer has access to a Buster anymore. Instead, they entirely gave him the Z-Saber as his forms of offense, and it is quite powerful, as you can see there. It has a lot of hit frames on it, but it requires you to get in close, which is something that I struggle with still, even though I've played this game several times in the past. No, I don't have Shot Eraser yet. Keep that in mind now. But yeah, I still struggle with getting close against the enemies, because... well, it's counterintuitive to what you'd think from an X game, especially if you've played the past 3. It's like, oh, I want to stay away and, shoot him from there, but no, not really the case this time. Anyway, Dragoon, you're in the 14th unit. Why? This doesn't look good, Zero. That Maverick took out the power. What? Then the Sky Lagoon will come crashing to the ground. Yes, and destroy the entire city. We have to do something. Or, that was Zero. We have to do something. It's too late. I must escape now. You'd best do the same, Zero. Damn, if the Sky Lagoon falls, it'll be disastrous. There's no time. I'm going down! Well, it's about to fall anyway, as we saw last time. Escaping from it didn't exactly help the city below, as you can plainly see. The carnage. It's horrible. Those Mavericks will pay for this! Going straight to the M word, huh, Zero? Wow. I mean, I get it, but holy hell. Oh, I almost got... If you go too far to the right on that part there, on any of these parts with these falling rocks, you can kiss your lives goodbye, because it will... You dip your toes in it and you die, basically. I will say this, though. In the beginning of the game, playing as Zero, like I said, a little counterintuitive to what you'd expect, but by the time you get to the mid-game and even the end-game with Zero, he feels so much more powerful than X does. It's kind of ridiculous how much stronger he feels like when you play as him. Just because it's not that his Saber deals significantly more damage than anything X gets, it's just... I don't know, Zero feels more well-equipped to handle certain things in this game. Maybe that's just me. Uh-oh, who's this? Iris, what are you doing here? Are you okay? Zero, did you come to save me? Yes, hang on. A huge Maverick appeared and... Stay here, Iris. I'll handle it. Starting to get his X4 voice actor mixed up with his normal one. Would have been better if I didn't have the interference from his X4 voice actor, but, well, Is this really one of Repliforce's? I don't have a moment to spare. I have to defeat him, or else... Nice little detail there that Iris turns to watch him walk off into the distance. I like that. Anyway, pushover number 1 is here. First of several, I'm sure. No, with Zero, actually, some of the bosses do get a little trickier to deal with. That being said, he stuns this guy out of his whatever frames he's in if he's on the ground with his Z-Saber, so he must be weak to it. Pretty much a pushover, like I said. Doesn't take much, so... come to think of it, I'm pretty sure they exploded in slow motion on the actual regular PlayStation. It's been a while since I played that version. Mostly played the PS2 version, but as we saw before, I couldn't really do that with this particular game. Anyway. Zero, long time no see. Colonel, what are you doing here? Oh, Jesus Christ, like Spike. I've come to save my sister Iris. I only hope she's okay. She's fine, I just rescued her. Thanks, Zero, I owe you one. Colonel, I have a question for you. Did your unit attack this place? What are you talking about? Repliforce came here for help. We weren't involved in the attack. They suspect you've become a Maverick. What? Disarm and come with me to the HQ. I'm afraid I can't. Soldiers never drop their weapons. I won't do it, not even for you, Zero. Then they'll think you're a Maverick. So be it. The Repliforce prefers war over dishonor and shame. Goodbye, Zero. Wait, Colonel, listen to me! Oh, that's not good. Damn, this isn't good, Colonel. They may decide the entire Repliforce is a group of Mavericks. And then, well... we gonna have to hunt you down, son. That's not so good. Anyway, let's just save our game. Let's just ignore all those extra upgrades that I've got there. We'll get them in due time. We've seen this already, but I'll let it play out anyway.
Brave soldiers of Repliforce, we have all been wrongfully judged as mavericks by the humans. We cannot suffer this indignity and live in disgrace. We will build our own nation of Reploids. But remember, this is neither about insurrection nor rebellion against our human creators. This is about our liberty and security. We must battle for our own individual rights and our own survival. Together we will build our nation, a sanctuary for all Reploids, our own utopia. Let us forge onward towards a new golden era for the Repliforce.
Excuse me.
I too share the general sentiment. Take heed, we have no other choice. Let us fight valiantly, with courage and pride.
Still wondering
Without
where he
fear,
got
for we
valiantly
are the
from.
Repliforce. The most powerful army in history!
Scene makes a little less sense on Zero's side, huh?
The General has finally taken action. And now, my Maverick Hunters, what will you do? I'll be watching closely from here on out.
Because it's like, at this point, if you played this side first, it's like, I don't even know who the General is, and who's that guy? I mean, you could probably guess who that guy is anyway, but... What's he doing in an apartment? What's the rate on that apartment? Because I would like to see it. Anyway. Iris, what are you doing here? My brother Colonel started the coup. I know. Please don't fight against him. This must be some kind of mistake. They've occupied several cities already. As a hunter, I must stop them. Zero, I must go now. So let's see where he's going. We already know these places, so you gotta go to the jungle to fight Web Spider. Cyberspace to fight Cyber Peacock. The Air Force to fight Storm Owl. The Volcano to fight Magma Dragoon. The Marine Base to fight Jet Stingray. The Bio Laboratory, to fight Split Mushroom. The Military Train to fight Slash Beast. And the Snow Base to fight Frost Walrus. And as much as I'd like to go to the Military Train first to cut off their supply routes, Zero is not as well equipped to handle Slash Beast as X is, unfortunately, because you have to get in close, and Slash Beast also has to get in close, and that just leads to an all-out brawl. So, instead, this time, we're gonna go after Magma Dragoon first, because traitors have to be punished, I suppose. And Zero has a way of handling Dragoon a little bit easier anyway. He betrayed the irregular hunters and hid himself inside a volcano. Should I read these again? I guess I will. I mean, how often am I actually going to get to read flavor texts like that? I think this is the only time in the series that they tell you why you're going after them, basically. It's just, the other games, they're like, oh, they're Mavericks, just kill them. It's like, hell, guys. They used to be not Mavericks, you know? At least give me some reason, some excuse in my head to be like, okay, he's a jerk. Or they're a jerk, let's just go and take care of them. Wow. Maybe I shouldn't stand here. In case you're wondering why I'm jumping around as much as a Mexican jumping bean here, it's because Zero's aerial attack is pretty busted. It does lots of damage, it has lots of hit frames on it. Really, that's the main thing. It's not that it deals more damage than anything else, it's that it has 70 bazillion hit frames on it. Like, every frame that it's inside of the enemy has a hit frame, so... It's really good for dealing with lots of enemies at the same time. Just pause there. Especially large enemies. Like, if they have multiple... well, basically, if they have a large hitbox of some kind, he can swing the saber and it deals damage, again, with every frame that it's inside of their body. So, he really doesn't have that much trouble against large enemies. I mean, X, you had to keep shooting them in order to get rid of them. It didn't take that long with X. With Zero, it takes even less time, because he can just, well, do that, basically. I think we can reach that ledge of Zero, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to try. Gotta jump from just the right angle and not get hit by a meteor in the process. I know I can get it now, though. Oops, not like that, though. Okay, let's wait for that. There we go. That technically, though, that means that I could have gotten that with X, but I mean, whatever. It's fine. Gotta watch for the meteors in this part. They're kind of obnoxious because they're sort of everywhere. And usually in the most inconvenient spots, so... Thank you for the life up, I'll take that. And we're gonna take this robot and run with it this time, because last time when I was using X there, we didn't use the robot going into the boss fight. This time, however, I think we will. So take it down here, slide right through here. Let's see how long I can get the robot to last, or the ride armor to last against Magma Dragoon. Because I gotta remember, if I stand in the lava, I don't get hurt while in the ride armor, so... Zero, it's really you. Why did you betray us? Answer me, Dragoon! I have no answer for you, my friend. Dragoon! Oh god. Yeah, so standing over here doesn't hurt me, so... Oh god, that's not what I wanted to do. Mostly want to do these. Okay, let's just get through that. Mostly want to do jumping attacks, just like normal Zero anyway. I don't know why I'm trying to be so technical with this. I've got like a ton of HP on this thing, so... Oh god, Zero, get in the... Stop jumping out of it, you idiot. If I keep doing this, I should be okay. Okay, so now the thing's gonna start exploding, which is fine. Okay, I actually lasted through the entire fight with the ride armor. Nice. Granted, it didn't come with me to the end of the fight. It got blown up, but I mean... Usually it blows up before the end of the fight for me, so that's an impressive new record for me. I wanted to defeat you. Then he appeared. He? Who? He told me he'd give me power. Only if I worked for Repliforce. What? I couldn't refuse the offer. Sorry, Zero. Dragoon! I still don't understand why he isn't just like, well, I want to spar with you guys so I can get stronger. Like, normally I'm not a fan of the Goku mentality when it comes to people, but like this makes so much more sense than just going Maverick of your own accord. Like, that makes no damn sense. Anyway, for defeating Magma Dragoon with Zero there, we get a new technique for him, Ryuenjin. You may notice this from the Marvel vs. Capcom series if you've played that. Up plus the special attack button on the ground gives you a powerful attack that burns enemies with flames. Some objects may be burned with this technique. So now we can actually go to Frost Walrus and Web Spider stage and grab the hearts there without having to backtrack, which is pretty nice. Because we backtracked in X's playthrough, and it didn't really... I mean, it was fine, it didn't matter, just easier this way. Anyway, so that's one down, and Ryuenjin is actually a pretty strong technique. It'll do significant damage to most of the things I use it against. But the more important technique is actually the one we'll get from Split Mushrooms Bio Laboratory here. So that's where we're going to go next, because probably Zero's best technique that he gets from the bosses in this game is gotten right here. So figure get it early, get out of the way. He occupies the laboratory and we'll attack whoever visits there. Split Mushroom. That guy. He's an asshole. I think I'll be able to get him even with one heart. I mean, with X, it looked a lot harder. Probably didn't do a good job demonstrating him with X, but we'll see what we can do. I think we'll be okay. I also gotta watch because I don't have any sub-tanks yet, so... See, this is what that guy's supposed to do, is he's supposed to chase you, basically, but... Wow. I took care of that problem pretty easily. Speaking of problems, the issue that I was having with the ride armor where I kept flying out of it, it's not exactly the same, but expect to see something vaguely similar to that happening in later games in the series for one particular thing that I'm not a fan of that they added and introduced in the next couple of games. Okay, don't jump into the... Okay, well, that didn't work. Wow! Oh, okay. You know, I'll go grab that. I know I'm just spinning my wheels at this point, really, but It's fine. We'll get up here eventually. We'll be good. Try not to go too far there without... don't want to kill myself. Okay. Speaking of killing myself, well, I wouldn't have killed myself, but... Zero was messing around with me there. I think that's the main issue, is that there's no good control scheme here. The issue that I have is that if I use the D-pad like you were intended to when the game was created on a PS1 with no control stick, at least I don't think the PS1 controller had a control stick. Maybe the later ones did. Am I going to be able to beat this guy without Ryu-Engine? Maybe. Maybe. We're going to find out. If I have to, if we get too close to the edge, I'll just use Ryu-Engine to beat him because it deals significant damage to him. But we'll figure it out. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, you weren't intended probably to use a pad for this, or a stick for this when it was originally created, so... Here's what we could do, though. Oh god, I did it wrong. Yeah, we'll be fine. It's okay. There we go, see? Now we just go up here, let him break this platform, and we kill him. Easy enough. Here I am thinking it was going to be difficult, and it wasn't. Yeah, the D-pad hurts my fingers in long sessions now that I'm older, and apparently my body's more frail than it used to be, or maybe it was always like this and I just don't remember. But the stick, whenever you're pressing a direction, it has a very it recognizes you pressing up with any little variation in the stick. So it's like it's harder to not press up. I almost have to hold down when I'm moving forward, but that brings its own problems later on because, well, problems are gonna come up from that. You'll see what they are eventually. Made that look easy too. Here I was saying that was tricky. No, it is actually tricky. Don't make... The fact that I'm making it look easy should not give you any indication of whether or not it is easy or hard, so... Okay, well, we won't use that anymore, but that's Ryu-Engine right there. I won't use it on these guys because they have those big hitboxes on the back that do not do anything, so... You can even do it and get away with some hit frames above me if I do it the right way. But yeah, Zero's aerial attack is pretty busted in this game. It does lots of damage, it's very safe, it gives him a nice big hitbox worth of damage around him, so... Hey, I got through it without dying that time. Nice. Or getting hit, too. Don't have double Cyclone to take care of these guys this time, but it's okay, because we've got everything else that Zero's got, so... Alright. Let's try this. Split Mushroom's probably, and this is kind of sad, but he's probably going to be one of the more difficult bosses because I don't have an E-Tank to fall back on and I only have a couple of health upgrades, so... I'll have to get into my expert mode here. Expert mode initiated? We'll see. You made it this far. I'm impressed. You're interested in a real challenge? Who's your commanding officer? Never mind that. It's time to fight! So you never really find out exactly who his commanding officer is, at least not now. You find out later, obviously, when you find out that it's Sigma. Oh god. Almost messed that up, Royal. Alright, let's see. He's already doing this, so... Oh god. Okay, so now they should both start going crazy. Yeah, okay. You go there. You go there. That's good. Jump over your head. Nice. Come on, give me hitboxes at least. See, here's where I start getting problems lying because they get desynced like this, and that just leads to some problems. Okay. There we go. I made that look easy. I was saying it was going to be so hard. I'm a beast, dude. Well, fucking beast. He's actually not as hard as I was making him look like last time. Nice and victory music. Let's get out of here. As you can tell, Zero has a couple of separate, different themes. Like his opening stage theme is a little different. His victory theme is a little different. I like his victory theme better than X's, to be honest with you. I think that's how it is in most of the PlayStation games, actually. In terms of the victory theme, I think I like Zero's better in most cases. I forget. We'll find out eventually, though. Anyway, so for defeating Split Mushroom, Zero gets probably the most important technique in his arsenal, at least in this game, the Kuenbu. With the correct timing, higher and further jumps are possible while airborne. Kuenzan may be activated while attacking in the air. So technically you get two things. You get Kuenbu, which is double jump, and Kuenzan, which is an improved version of his aerial attack. Now his aerial attack was already ridiculous, because it gave you a nice big hitbox in front of you to do it. Now it gives you a nice big hitbox 360 degrees around him, as you can see by the icon there. And you can double jump to make it even better. So it's pretty nuts, and I usually try to get it early. Some people might say that that's a little bit too powerful to be getting this early, but I would disagree. It's one of the most important things in his arsenal, and it makes playing as Zero so much better. I like it so much better when he has so much mobility like that. I will be saving the other upgrade to his Z-Saber, the non-special technique involving his Z-Saber. We'll be saving that for our last boss, so that way it's not like I'm using an upgraded version of the Z-Saber, and I'll explain what that is when we get there. But for now, since we have the Soul Body / Kuenbu, we can head into Cyber Peacock stage and actually do things. So, rather than getting caught by those laser eye things. He lives in cyberspace and wants to destroy the network system. Again. Except this time with somebody who's a lot more up close and personal. Still like this stage's theme. It's one of my favorites probably in this game. It's just, like I said, really appropriate for the situation. But here's the Kuenzan right there. That you haven't really gotten to see the whole thing there, but basically it's like a big spinny move. Okay, there's the hurry up. So as long as you get there before the hurry up goes away, you'll get an S rank. Now with Zero, it's not as important on this first one because all you get is an extra life. He doesn't get capsule upgrades like X does. He's got the best armor he can possibly get, and also Dr. Light didn't create Zero, so that sort of is why he doesn't. And this is what happens if you don't do that right. You get caught by the things. I should still be fine, though. Yeah, we're still good. That one's pretty forgiving. If I get caught by one in the third area, well, that will be less forgiving, but there's a heart for us. So Zero's heart is in the second part, and the E-Tank is in the third part, so I'd like to not have to come back here. But, I mean, I just skipped out on coming back to Magma Dragoon because I got the heart, so I guess it doesn't matter that much. Wow. Okay, game, work with me here. Gotta hustle a little bit. Climb up this like that, and we should be good. Yep, we're good. Cool. I forgot to get maximum S rank while I was Zero, because I didn't need to get S rank on the first one with Zero. Oh well. Give it a little throwback to my one of my other playthroughs. If you know the one, then thank you for staying with me for so long, but yeah, it's been a little while since we did that. Since we got a maximum S rank on anything, really. Probably going to be less commentary towards the actual stages since we've seen them already with Zero here, but I probably should have waited until that guy went before I did that. I don't know, I'll find some to talk about, I always do. So I can never stop running my mouth, as you know. Anyway, so yeah, like I said before, Zero gets a double jump now thanks to the Kuenbu. Now, if you dash jump like this, you can't do a double jump, so we'll have to still do this in order to get some mobility. But we'll get that fixed eventually as well, so don't even worry about that. It's not really a limitation in the slightest. Now, we have Cyber Peacock's weakness already, but I'm obviously not going to use it on him. Gotta make this a little challenging for myself. And no, it's not the Kuenzan, just in case you're wondering. I'm impressed you made it this far, but you can't beat me. Get ready. I don't know, you should tell that to X. He sorta ripped you apart there. Okay. Gotta be a little more careful with Zero because, okay, he's doing... Yep, there's the spread feather thing that I was talking about before. Now for this part, same as X, just jump off the walls, and you might not be able to get a hit with Zero, but... okay, I'm doing this wrong, hang on. You might barely be able to get a hit in, but don't worry about it if you don't. It's not really that critical. I had to climb there because I knew he was going to do that, so... That's a feather thing. He sits in specific parts of the room when he's doing the feather thing. It's usually closer to the center of the room rather than right on top of where you are when he's doing the spread feather thing, so... Yeah, just try to get your hit markers in where you can. And that's the important thing, so... Oh, thank you, Cyber Peacock. You just killed yourself, so that's great. He really likes using the aiming laser at lower than 50% health, so it... sometimes he'll sort of screw himself because you can get lots and lots of hits in on him before he even starts attacking with it. It takes a long time for him to set it up. Fortunately for us, Zero's attack that he gets from Cyber Peacock is not so difficult to set up. It's probably the second best technique he gets out of everything. It's actually mistranslated or mispronounced, something like that in this one, because it's supposed to be Rekoha. But, okay, anyway. Giga Attack button on the ground. So this is Zero's Giga Attack. The ultimate special attack that channels all stored energy into one blast. What is it, Ultima? Jesus. Use this move selectively as it consumes energy. Yes, so this is the only technique of Zero's that uses an energy bar. All the rest of his techniques can be used as often as he'd like. But the Giga Attack has a set number of charges. Now, the charges come back as you get weapon energy, and I think it also comes back with life energy. That may be in the next game, though. I'm not 100% sure. But, yeah, it's a really good technique, and it's good to use in a combo. So, unfortunately, I can't really use it in boss fights because I'm stuck with the same limitation that I had with X, where I'm only using the Z-Saber for the first 8 bosses. But I'll see what I can do. Hey Yugman, how's it going? The pixel art in this game is really good. I'm kind of glad that Capcom didn't try to do the whole 3D thing when they first started doing the X series on the PlayStation 1 and the PlayStation 2 because, well, when they got on the PS2 they moved into 3D, but yeah, the pixel quality on this, I feel like it held up a lot better than the low polygon count games of the late 90s and early 2000s. Just so much better, personally. Excuse me. Anyway, who's next on the list of Mavericks to fight? Ah, okay. I didn't want to do this one until after I got a few hard upgrades, because for some reason I have a lot harder of a time with this one with Zero than I do with X, but maybe it's the lack of a buster. I don't know. Anyway, let's head over here. But yeah, I really would, if you haven't played these games before there, Yugman, I would definitely recommend playing them. Oh yeah, he destroyed the city and escaped to the sea. Well... But yeah, I would definitely recommend playing them, but do whatever you do not get them on the Legacy Collection, because the Legacy Collection suffers severely from issues with input lag. Like, to the point where the reason why I'm playing this on a PS1 emulator instead of, on the Legacy Collection, like I was originally planning to, is because the input lag was so bad on the Legacy Collection that I couldn't actually play the games. So, I could beat this game, but this game's easy, so. I'll read what you got there in just a minute, just making sure I don't die on this little land chaser section, so, oh god. Do that. Do that, and shoot ahead of me a little. There we go, now we're good. Wow! Bit of slowdown on my end, but at least it's better than... At least I can control it on this one, so... Good entry point for these games. X1 is the best entry point, personally, I would say, for these games. The story, while it is like... You can get some story out of it if you play the games in the correct order. You don't have to. The story's are basically mostly self-contained. I mean, really, the only case where that's not the case is, like, starting from X5 and beyond, they kind of tried to make the story, like, a conclusive point, because X5 was originally going to be the last game in the series, and then they decided to make more of them afterwards. Man, I'm not doing so hot on the life energy here. Okay. Got it! Nice! I don't usually get that on the first try on both sides there. Well, now we've got 2 E-Tanks, so that's pretty good. It's really rough. Yeah, it was a rough thing. But yeah, good entry point, I'd say, would be X1, if you can gain access to it. If you don't mind playing on emulators, definitely play it on a Super Nintendo emulator if you can. If you can't, if you have a PS2, I'd say get the Mega Man X collection, just the regular collection on the PS2, because that one also doesn't have very much input lag. But don't get the Legacy Collection. It's too bad on input lag on all of the games for you to get a good experience out of it. If you're going to play it, you got to play it on the originals. That's my recommendation, basically. Anyway. He's still after me! Enough already. We settle this now! Okay, sure. I'll settle it for you. So yeah, I'm just going to do it this way with Zero, and then when these things come along, we'll just do that. Shouldn't take too much to get him, but I mean, obviously if he comes flying down the screen, I'm gonna have to pay attention, but maybe I was overshooting how difficult Jet Stingray is with Zero. I mean, I could go up on the wall and kill those things before they come up here, but definitely overshooting the difficulty. Of course, now that I said that, he's gonna get really hard, but got to run around when he goes like that so that we don't get bopped around there. Goodbye. It definitely... I keep overstating the difficulty on these bosses, I think, but, you know. X Collection for PS2 is $10. Yes, that's a very good buy. You will not be disappointed. The only one you may be disappointed with would be X6, but that's only disappointing if you're not a fan of very difficult games, because X6 is incredibly, excruciatingly difficult for a lot of people. But yeah, I would still recommend picking it up. Personally, I'll be playing X6 on Extreme Mode, which is even more difficult than the normal game. For the stream here, but we'll let that happen when it happens. The dying part, I'll be dying a lot, and so that'll be funny when it happens, but I just say play through it normally. But yeah, definitely start with X1 and then move up from there. And if, like you said, if you can get on the PS2 and you've got a working PS2, it's a good investment. You will not be disappointed. Anyway, for defeating Jet Stingray, we got Hien Kyaku, which is an air dash, basically. That's exactly what it is, actually. It's just an air dash, but it's helpful because Zero doesn't get a leg upgrade like X does to get an air dash, so now we can do even more than we could do before. And actually, I think we'll be able to, now that I got the Heart from Dragoon stage at first, I don't think we'll have to do any backtracking. I'm pretty sure, anyway, especially since I did all of Cyber Peacock's stuff previously. But yeah, we've beaten 4 Mavericks, so now I've got a message from Repliforce. Zero, I'll be at the Memorial Hall. Be there. Don't go, Zero! Don't fight him! This is a matter of personal pride now. There's no avoiding this. I must go. You don't have to fight the Colonel this time with Zero, though. You just get this cutscene.
What? I'm disappointed in you, Colonel.
Which is enjoyable in its own right because of the voice acting.
What do you think you're doing?
It's not too late. Stop the coup now.
Never.
If that's your decision, prepare yourself!
How did you even hear what he was saying, Zero? He basically whispered it so quietly. It's like he was whispering soft nothings in your ear, man. Didn't know you guys had that kind of relationship. Lots of UST in this room right now.
Stop, please! Brother, please! Don't you remember? Zero saved my life.
Oh. Very well then. I'll spare your life for now. But
For
next time,
now.
There'll be no mercy.
fight with my brother. If you do, I'm afraid that one of you may end up...
Someone must stop Repliforce.
So let X do it.
Oh,
Oh wait, X doesn't exist in this plot line. Oh boy. Yeah, Iris, if anyone was wondering, is the Colonel's sister. Although it goes a little bit deeper than that, but I can't explain why without a little bit of story spoilers for later. So we'll just hold off on that until the time comes. Your friend made you play one on the PSP a long time ago and you couldn't beat the first stage. He might have made you play Maverick Hunter X on Vile mode, and if that's the case, I don't blame you. Vile mode is freaking hard, man. If the guy that you were playing as was a purple dude with like a shoulder cannon and leg bombs and stuff like that, then yes, your friend was being a dick, basically. Because if that's your first entry point into the series, like, holy hell. So yeah, whatever you do, don't play X6 as your first one, and don't play Maverick Hunter X on Vile mode as your first one, because that's not cool. Neither one of those is cool. Where are we going next? Frost Walrus? Frost Walrus. Okay. Off we go. Okay. Moving along in a good clip here, though. We've only been at this for about 45 minutes. He protects the secret weapon which lies inside the snow base. I got it this time. I actually looked it up to make sure that was all it said. After last time, when Frost Walrus was... Excuse me. All over the screen. I'll never get tired of this statue. I'll never get tired of it. It's just so ironically funny to me. And if you're wondering why it's ironically funny there, Yugman, you could go watch me play my playthrough of Mega Man X3, my stream through. It's over on my YouTube channel there. Or play it yourself, and you'll get an idea. Oh, we need to go and actually get this upgrade this time. A good thing I was in iframes there. I would have died. Holy hell. Yeah, we need to go up and get this time. So, there we go. Since we have the Ryuen gene this time, I don't have to, like, not get that. And we have the double jump, too, which really helps a lot with getting through here. Although, the rate I'm going, I'm making it look like it's not. Oh, God. There we go. Something to remember, though, you can't double jump while air dashing. So if you air dash, that gets rid of your second jump, basically. So if you need to double jump, make sure you do it before you air dash. Or, you know, basically you have to decide, do I need to air dash, do I need to dash jump, or do I need to double jump this time through? What would be more convenient for me? And just go from there. And up here, now we don't need the lightning web this time or anything from Web Spider because Zero has the double jump, so we can just go straight through. Wow. Ouch. The double jump actually gets kept through your hit frames too. Like if you get hit by an enemy, the game remembers that you still have a jump left, so it's very convenient because it allows you to readjust your jump if you get hit by something. Okay. Maybe turning VSync off was a bad idea, although I think the game was actually worse off with VSync on, because instead of these lag spikes, I'd get, like, stutters every, like, 30 seconds or so to have that happen. Okay, so do we beat this guy with... I'm gonna go with Z-Saber only on this guy. I might actually die to him, but we'll see. You're really meant to use Ryuen gene, because, I mean, like, look at the spikes up there. But, I mean, I suppose I could just do this. Go. Get rid of him before he can use them against me. Ouch. Oh, I missed one. Actually, this is doing pretty good against him, so... Not so much now, since I'm jumping into shit, but, you know. Gets rid of him a little faster. I'm being impatient, which is not good. Don't be impatient in these games. It's definitely not worth your while. Especially since I'm on the PlayStation 1 games now. Like, the games only get harder, basically, from here. Like, X3 was kind of hard in its own right, but after X4, there's no more walks in the park here. The game will stop holding my hand and start kicking me in the balls instead. Ow. Just like that bomb just now. No. Yeah, Kuenzan, this spinny move, it just wrecks everything in this game. It's so ridiculous how good it is. I unfortunately can't ban it like this is an RPG playthrough. Like, when I'm doing a lot of my RPG playthroughs, if something is so disgustingly good that it's, like, too good to pass up, like, essential, everyone uses it to cheese the game, whatever, usually what I'll do is I'll ban it from being used on my playthroughs, or I'll find some workaround where that's not what I'm using to make the game overly easy. I want to make sure that all the games I'm playing are a fair challenge, basically, and Kuenzan has a tendency to make that not the case, but you have to get it, so there's no way around it anyway. So I might as well just use it. Should almost have a full E-tank at this point too, so oh god. Phew. Almost got the whole stage frozen there by that guy. Not that it would have been a big deal, but I had such a good track record with Zero, I wanted to keep it up. You know what they say, Frost Walrus, the bigger they are, the harder they fall, and you're about to fall hard, my friend. What's that blonde kid up to? I don't have time for you, Junior. Hey, shut up and fight already. Oh, that does it. You're going down. I don't know why I didn't think of him having a Brooklyn accent last time I was playing. It makes so much sense in my head, anyway. I don't know why a walrus would have a Brooklyn accent, but... oh, God. Okay, he's jumping there. Wow! Be a little careful. Yeah, it's especially egregious, the Kuenzan against Frost Walrus, because he's got such a large hitbox, so... and also because I could do that, so... just keep standing still for me, big guy. I jumped into this. I should have just Kuenzan'd again, but whatever. Seems fine to you. Never a big fan of projectiles in 2D games. Yeah, projectiles can get a little bit annoying, especially in Zero's case, because if you don't have the Kuenzan, he doesn't have a way of erasing enemy shots, but I'm pretty sure... or no, actually, he can't even do it with the Kuenzan. He has to get a different upgrade from a different Maverick to get rid of projectiles with the Saber. But if you don't have a projectile attack yourself, projectile attacks in 2D games can be pretty annoying to deal with. I can agree. Anyway, for defeating Frost Walrus, we get Hiratuzan. I don't think that's how you pronounce that. Down and the special attack button while jumping gives you an icy dive attack. And it's pretty good. It's pretty good as well. Although, again, it suffers from the same issues that most of X's special weapons suffered from, in that most enemies are that you'd want to use it on are immune to it. So, thankfully with Zero, they sort of opened it up a little bit with his techniques, like to the point where some of the enemies are not as resistant, I guess, to his stuff. Yeah, we'll keep with the order. I was thinking about going after Slash Beast there, but we'll keep with this order that I had written down. Might as well use the Ryu engine to get the stuff here, too. He protects the secret weapon of the jungle. Go to the stages I needed it for, and then go to the stages I don't need it for. Probably a little weird for some people, though, because if you're a veteran Mega Man X series player and you're watching this on the VOD or something like that, or if you're in the audience now and I'm just not noticing you because you haven't chatted at all, it's probably weirding you out that I'm doing this stage like 6th, because it's one of those stages where everybody goes there almost first, really. It's one of the easier stages in the game. It gets you used to the controls, it gets you used to the platforming and that sort of stuff, so... yeah, see, there's the lack of shot eraser coming in. Coming in hot there. There's the Giga attack, by the way, for Zero. It's, oh, that's how it goes. Okay. It recharges as you get hit. I'm trying to That makes sense, actually, because the Giga attacks in the series have generally been like that, where you get hit and it recharges. But the thing about the Giga attack that's pretty nice with Zero is that it gives him a nice chunk of invincibility frames. If an enemy's attack is about to hit you, you can use it to prevent yourself from getting hit by it. So like if I wanted to get up here and not get hit by those, I could have done it properly, but yeah, whatever. It's fine. Yeah, it's a good attack. I like it. Almost didn't make it there. Hello. Oh, yeah. His saber must have, or his trident must have erased my shots. It's not completely overpowered, the Rakoha, but it does deal significant damage. Like, it almost destroyed that door in one hit, so that's pretty powerful. I think it actually deals a good chunk of damage to most bosses, too. Like, it probably deals about 4 damage to each boss, which, when you consider that bosses have about 32 HP total, it's pretty impressive, so. I don't need to be killing all of these things, but, it's fine. They're in my way! Actually, they're not even in my way, to be honest. I could have just jumped underneath them, but, whatever. That's the thing, though, with Zero. You know how I was talking about before, where it feels like he's so much stronger than X in certain situations in this game? It's for stuff like this, like you can combo his moves together. It feels almost like an action, more of an action game than it did before. It's less of a 2D shooter game, and more of a almost like a 2D Devil May Cry, I almost want to say, which is kind of cool. That's all I was trying to do, game, is get in there. Oh, I don't want to go this way yet. I want to go over here first. So we can grab this and get that, and I mean get hurt because it's an electrical web. What do you want to do? If you eat the electrical web with your face, Zero, you're gonna get your face melted off, so that's not a good idea. I'm gonna try to get as far away from this as I can, so I can do that. There we go. And we're good. We made it in with full health. Fantastic. Well, I found another weapon. We had the one in the snow base and now the one here. So I don't think you can actually use Web Spider's weakness on him with Zero. I'm not 100% sure about that, though, but I'm fairly certain. Maybe if you can combine the air dash with the his weakness. I've never tried that, to be honest, though I am going to try it. We'll see. Anyway. Ah, Zero, I've been expecting you. I think I used Split Mushroom's voice for... or Web Spider's voice for Split Mushroom, but whatever. Spider, you work for Repliforce? Yes, I lead a renegade unit now. There's still no, that's Zero. There's still time. Call off the coup. No, I know where my loyalties lie. Wonder what the story is between these two. I don't think we ever find out. Yeah, just the same as before. Make sure you dodge around the webs by dashing away and then coming back. I'm trying to get it so I get him down to low HP when he's doing his other web thing. I think I might have screwed that up, though. Oh, no, never mind. We're good. Yeah, he's got pretty low HP now, as you can see. Make it a little easier to deal with him when he gets to the big webs. Wow. Watch where you're going, man. Yeah, I missed one. Damn it. And that's what happens if you get caught by one of the webs. You don't want that to happen, so I'll just die already. There we go. If I hadn't missed that one spider, we would have been fine, but... Actually, you can use the Giga attack there to get rid of the spiders as they're coming down towards you. Like, right when they're about to hit you on the head, if you use the Giga attack, it'll blow all of them up. So, that's a pretty good idea. I just didn't use it because, well, I can't. I'm self-imposed challenge here, so, you know. I will probably do that in the boss rush, though. Because it seems like a good idea. For defeating Web Spider, we get Raijin Geki, which is his standard special attack there. It's special attack on the ground. It's a lightning saber, effective against enemies that are far away. Granted, you could just jump into them and do a Kuenzan, but It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's more effective against strong enemies, enemies with lots of HP, because it hits, again, with every frame that the saber is on the enemies. So it deals pretty significant amounts of damage, as you'll see in a moment. Well, you know, I don't even know if I'll get to demonstrate it here in the military train, but no, I will, because I used, I broke my own rule when I did the military train with X. I think I used Frost Tower on the and Ground Hunter on the boss there. So this boss is the exception to the rule. I'm gonna say that much. I know I said X Buster and Z Saber only, but since I broke the rule last time, might as well do this for consistency. He defends the military train to protect the supply of goods. And now we gonna cut off the supply of goods. Granted, if I was a good strategist, I would have done that in the first place, but again, Zero has a bit of a hard time against Slash Beast without a few life upgrades, so... Or at least I do, anyway. I don't know about other people, but... Phew. Because when we both have to get up close and personal... That poor man's, I hope his family's okay. When you both have to get up close and personal, it just turns into an all-out brawl, basically, so... Gotta be a little careful. And in my case, careful is more like safety, because I just need to get more life upgrades. Better safe than sorry, don't you know? Won't have to fill up my sub-tanks at all if I keep this up. How are we doing on them anyway? Ooh, almost completely full. Nice. Be careful there. Don't want to get hit by that stray bomb. Okay, that didn't do what I wanted it to do. Here I was trying to be slick, and it backfired. It hit me in the face. Alright. So, since we've established that I can use special weapons here, let's see. Let's get rid of the first one, maybe? Do like one of these. Get rid of that thing on the top. Not the spike. I was more interested in getting rid of the gun up there. There we go. It's fine. I'll just stand in the explosion while we get there. Jump off when I feel like it. It's no big deal. I don't know why, but for some reason that transition there where they go into the tunnel, it reminds me of like several Super Nintendo games. Batman Forever, Super Star Wars. I don't even know if those games had transitions like that, to be honest with you, but for some reason I get that vibe when I see that transition there. Do you die in one? No, you do not. And again, I didn't really hit you with everything, so... You know what you do die to one of? One of those. There's the Raijin Geki for you. Yeah, good luck. Oh god. He had a buddy! There we go. I wonder if the, what's it called? I wonder if the Giga attack destroys these blue boxes, since, you know, I can't normally destroy them. Whoa. See, I say whoa, but really if I didn't want that to happen, why did I destroy the train platform there? Oh, get out of here. Not you too, Metsul. Rate I'm going, I'm gonna end up losing this right armor before I even get there. I'm not gonna pick up that life upgrade back there, because even though it's a big life upgrade, and that's counterintuitive to like everything that I ever wanted. There we go. Normally you would pick it up, but since I have full E-tanks, I don't really need to, you know. Gotcha. And then they got me. It's okay. Nice. And top myself off. Yeah. I'm hoping he wouldn't fire in that direction, but oh well. Let's test it. No, it does not. So yeah, obviously the 3-hit combo, as you've seen on the ground, deals more damage than the Kuenzan, but for one attack that gives you a lot of hit frames around you, it's pretty safe, the Kuenzan, so it's safer than doing his 3-hit combo on the ground anyway, in most cases. You dare to attack my unit? I'm gonna enjoy fighting you. He's actually a pretty enjoyable fight, too, so I gotta be a little more careful, obviously, with him. Well, because a little more careful anyway than I was with X, because I'm not really being careful, but you know, still not having any luck dashing underneath those. I'll get it. There we go. Yeah, the main issue that crops up, obviously, is that you have to get in so close to get him, and he's very good up close, Slash Beast is. That wasn't what I wanted it to be. There we go. Got him. A little sloppy, but you know what? I'll take it. It's fine. I died to him several times, though, in the Legacy Collection because of the input lag. And also because I tried to fight him first, so not such a good idea, I don't think, especially when you're dealing with, what was it, like 10 frames of input lag, which is a third of a second when the games are playing at 30 FPS, so that's just obnoxious. Just way too obnoxious. Anyway, for defeating Slash Beast, we get Shipuga, or Sipuga? I don't know, it kind of depends on the translation or the text box, because as you can see it says Shipuga down there, but Sipuga up there. Anyway, special attack button while dashing. You can execute a powerful dash blade attack. Approach your enemy with Shipuga, Sipuka, whatever, and perform a combo. So now we can test and see if it works with the air dash. Because honestly, yeah, I have no idea. I've never actually tried it. In all the years I've played this game. Seems like a weird thing, I know, but apparently I'm still learning things about these games even when I play them so many times, which is actually fine. I really like that I can learn new things about all these games when I reapproach them on the streams and stuff, because, you know, I don't get the chance to do that often anymore. He left with a Space Fortress to conquer the air. Reapproach games, that is. Like, more often than not now I'm doing stuff for school, or when I had a job I was doing stuff for work, so it was like if I wanted to play games, it wasn't as easy. So these guys die to one of these, so, well, if you hit them with more than one of the things, but it's fine. Hey, look, Zero got his Buster back. I don't know where that one was going. Just grab that before it gets blown up. I gotta plan out the shot there in advance, the charge shot that is, because you can't move if you use it. Basically, as soon as you touch the ground with it charging up like that, you can't move anymore. You can no longer jump, you can no longer dash, you can no longer do anything other than fire that shot, so gotta be a little careful with it, obviously. Oh. Far more careful than I am in most cases with Zero, so. Oop, no, not getting that. I don't know if you can get up here with Zero. Oh, I guess you can. Okay. Well, there's nothing up here for him anyway. X's capsules were up here originally, but since X isn't here right now, Zero can't really do anything with it, so. Alright, let's check this guy out. A lot easier with Zero, though, because you can sort of, like, kill his backup without wasting your shot, so it's just like one slash, and you're done, son. Now, for Storm Owl, we might actually, well, maybe not as much as I'm thinking, because Zero has a double jump at least, so he can get up on the platform in Storm Owl's area with a little more success than X can. But since I have to get in close on Storm Owl, and he has a lot of projectile attacks, Zero might actually need an E-Tank here, even though I'm full on upgrades. We'll see. Anyway, I'm going to give him a better voice than last time. Why did you judge us as mavericks? Wait, stop the coup! No, we're justified in doing this. Should have given him like an Arthur voice from Fire Emblem Fates or something. Like a real American hero or something. I'm saying it like he's an eagle. He's not actually an eagle, so I don't know what I'm thinking. Yeah, I probably could have done that better if I I was going to say Raijin Geki, but I guess I can't really Raijin Geki, can I? Oh god. What are you up to? There we go. Gotta watch for his desperation attack. It happens here eventually, so... Oh god, that's one of them. Alright, goodbye. Guess I didn't take as much damage as I thought I was gonna. You know what it is? The last time I played this game with Zero was when I played it on the Legacy Collection. And obviously that was significantly harder because of the lag, so that made it a little bit more troublesome. But this time, I think I got it handled. And finally, for defeating Storm Owl, we get Zero's last upgrade, Tenku-Ha, which is the Enhanced Z-Saber. So now it deals more damage and can cut enemy energy shots and erase them. So the energy shots that weren't like ballistic ones, like the ones that those little flying drone shot things fire with their turrets, those ones you could erase with the normal Z-Saber, but other ones that were just energy attacks, you couldn't erase with the Z-Saber. Now we can, though, so it makes it a lot safer for Zero. Repliforce is at the space harbor. I have to go. No, please wait, Zero. I don't want to see you two fight. Someone has to stop your brother. I'm leaving. And actually with Zero, since we got Magma Dragoon's heart there, and we don't need to refill in Frost Walrus's stage to fill up our sub-tanks, we can go straight to the spaceport without even having to wait. Very nice. Shadow Snake, thank you for the auto-host. Appreciate that. So we can plow right through this game this time. We're probably going to get through this in an hour and a half. Very nice. But yes, as you can see, Zero gets a nice, fancy purple Z-Saber when he gets the Tenku-Ha, so that's pretty good. Actually don't know, though, if it deals more damage. I always just assumed it did because it says it enhanced Z-Saber, but I suppose it could just be for shot erasing, which would be less awesome, but... still pretty good. But yeah, by this point in the game, Zero feels so much stronger than he did at the beginning of the game. It's kind of crazy. I mean, granted, he doesn't have as much defensive power as X does, and if I keep eating bombs and bullets with my face, of course he's going to seem less powerful, but he can ignore some of the obstacles that X had to deal with because he can double jump. It's just like, okay. Apparently a ladder is the hardest boss deal with. Oh, it did disappear there. Huh, couldn't get it to do with X. Anyway, yeah, free refill up here if you need it. And right over here is the Colonel. Or he will be in a minute when he comes back into reality. There he is. I don't want to fight. Step back. I'm sorry, I can't let you through. Iris will be sad if she loses you. Don't be so presumptuous, Zero. Save it until after you've defeated me. Oh boy.
Show me what you've got.
Should I do this Z-Saber only since we technically haven't fought him with Zero? I guess I will. He's weak to the Hiratsuzan normally, but, we can do it this way. Well. Alright, jump there. Just gotta watch for his ground thrust while I'm sliding in on him like this. Yeah, it's pretty much the same as it was with X. It's just, jump when he... basically, it's about 1 second after he disappears that you should jump, so... Just go in between the energy geysers there. That even works to get around him there. Okay, he's in his second phase here, basically, so now he'll use ground thrust. Yeah, I came down on top of him. Whoops. Gotcha. Impressive, Zero, but it's too late. What? Repliforce is left for the space. Even if I perish, Repliforce lives. Colonel. Zero, tell Iris that her brother died happily. Goodbye, Zero. Colonel! So yeah, I mentioned previously that the Colonel and Iris are brother and sister. But like I said, it goes a little deeper than that only. It's kind of rough to explain, and I don't think they ever really explain it in the game. They might explain it in like a manual somewhere or something. Or maybe it's explained in Mega Man Xtreme 2, which was the technical first chronological appearance of Iris. Even though that game came out like 4 years after this one. I don't think I'll ever play the Extreme games because I didn't grow up with them, so... They're kind of rehashes, too, of the first 3 X games anyway. So, yeah. Anyway. They've left for outer space. Scramble all Maverick Hunters. Iris, where are you? Iris! She left with them? No! Maverick Hunter, scramble! I'm on my way. Don't do this to me, Iris. So yeah, I'm not really sure where exactly they explain it, but Iris and Colonel are connected, basically, because they're half robot, right? So like, or not even half robot, actually. I think they're completely robot. So they can't technically be brother and sister. You know, maybe they were created by the same creator, whatever, but they can't technically be the brother and sister in the biological way that we as humans think about it. They are connected by a control chip that has a proximity to them. So, or not proximity, but basically, if one of them dies, the other one has a serious problem because they're supposed to both be alive at the same time. That's where they function most effectively. Without the other one, it's like losing half of your brain, basically. So it's, yeah, it's pretty bad. Hey Garrick, how's it going? Came here to ask the question. Still a while away, man. We did about 24 episodes of Final Fantasy XIV so far, but it's got many, many episodes left to go. We're about 1/3 of the way done with the game. So Gothic is still a bit of a ways away. Like I said, probably be we're still in the months category at this point for when we're going to be playing it. So that's how it is, unfortunately. Anyway. And in case you were wondering where Iris was, well, she's here. Iris! So you fought with my brother. I'm sorry. Then it's over. Everything. Wait, Iris, listen to me! Goodbye, Zero. Iris! That is her brother's control chip that she's holding, and when she has it, well... yeah. Things get bad.
Forgive me, Zero.
So Iris is now in this battle body. It's pretty much ride armor. You have to hit it a few times in order for her to release that energy crystal. The energy crystal is the real target, and you want to try to get your hits in, but also not fall on her at the same time. There's projectiles to deal with. There's these weird things there. There's also this. Got to be a little careful of. So yeah, it's a little bit of a... especially if she switches on the room like me like that. Holy cow. It's a bit of a tricky fight. Probably one of the hardest, if not the hardest, in Zero's campaign, so... But yeah, try to stay away from the wall and then dash jump towards it. That's the easiest way to dodge that, I think. I'm gonna need to use a sub-tank here in a minute. Ouch. Yeah, I'm gonna need to use it right about now. Yeah, we're fine. Okay, there we go. I'm being sloppy again, which is not really good for me. Just kind of cool. Get out of my way, Iris. Can't stop the inevitable. Got Luigi's Mansion on 2DS XL. Was thinking of trying out some Zelda since you've never played it. To be honest with you, I have not played the Zelda series since A Link to the Past, so I wouldn't really be able to tell you anything beyond that point, but they are pretty fun from what I've played, so... Anyway, I have to shut up because this is the best part.
Iris,
The cheesiest voice acting.
Zero,
hang in there, Iris.
please, stay away from Reploforce. Let's live together. In a world where only Reploids exist.
Iris, there's no world just for Reploid. It's only a fantasy.
Yes, I know, but I wanted to believe it. I wanted to live in a world where only Reploids exist. With you.
Iris! 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 Iris!
Shaking her like that isn't gonna help, dude, even if she is alive.
Iris!
Which she's not.
Iris! Ah! No, this isn't happening! There's no reason for me to go on. What? What am I fighting for?
And there it is! My favorite part. The voice acting in this game is so cheesy. I love it. It's so stupid. Like, nothing against the voice actors or anything. It's just they really did they did a job. They did one job, and it was not a good one. On the they had to try to make it sound like they didn't try. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, it's the voice acting in this game is infamous. Some people hate it. Okay, I don't like that part, but whatever. We didn't go up this way when I went through here with Axe, so we're gonna go this way this time. But some people hate it, but I'm like, how can you hate that? It's just so bad. It's in the so bad it's good category, you know? Here, I thought I was slick because I jumped over that missile, jumped right into a spike. Let's not do that this time. Oh. Yeah, as you can see, erasing those shots. I can't erase this laser, unfortunately. But, yeah, I can get pretty close. Yeah, damn your missiles. Forget it, I'm just going. I probably should have used Raijin Geki right there, but... oh well. Hey, nice. That'll help. That also fully restores your, with Zero, it fully restores your Giga attacks. That's pretty good. Love cheesy voice actors. Yeah, me too, man. Me too. It's just feels so almost nostalgic for me. It's like, because I grew up on all that sort of cheesy voice acting from the 90s, you know, cartoons and anime that I watched. Grew up on, you know, old-ass stuff like G Gundam and Rave Master. The old, like, Ocean dub of DBZ. Holy cow, that was awful. But, yeah. I mean, it wasn't that awful. It was just awful, I guess, in comparison to the stuff you see nowadays, which was the Funimation dub. They've had a lot of years of practice for that, though. Anyway. General, many died because of you. Those lives are on your conscience. Independence always has a high price. What about Iris? Did you forget about her? I have no regrets. Come on, Zero.
It was our destiny to fight.
Okay, so, problem with General, as before, is that his entire body is invulnerable except for his head. So you have to get him to come lower to the ground like this with Zero in order to really be able to hit him. At least that's how I did it. I think... who was it that was in the chat last time that said there's a really easy way to kill him if you do it properly with the saber? I think you have to wait for his fist attack, though, in order to do it like this. But I guess I can try to get some damage off. I always take too much damage when I do this, though. Because it doesn't really... it isn't entirely clear where his hitbox starts and ends. So I usually end up taking too much damage that way. But, I mean, I guess we got some good licks in. Well, he's coming down. Oh, you know what I haven't tried yet? No, it doesn't work. Okay. Doing your little shot thing? Yep. There we go. Come on down there, General. You're the next contestant on Zero's gonna kill you with a Z-Saber. So we'll just do it the normal way. Just do it this way. Okay, I managed to dodge it that time. That was pretty slick. I'm gonna stop saying anything now because Lord knows whenever I think something's slick, I just end up getting decked again, but you know. Okay, here we go again. But yeah, I was doing the air dash and mashing the special attack button there, and it didn't really do me any good. Okay, we got him. Zero, it's cool guys don't look at explosions, not cool guys stand under explosions, man. You're gonna get yourself killed. One of these days, gonna end up with no health in that health bar if he stands under an explosion. What is this? What's happened? No, this weapon can't be working. General, what's wrong? Someone else is controlling it. Then Earth's in grave danger. It must be stopped. I'll handle this. Love how I'm pretty sure General told X, you need to stop it, while Zero, he just comes and he's like, ah, fuck it, I'm gonna handle this myself. he's just that badass, man. Okay, I'm gonna bank on a miracle here and say that we'll have a full sub-tank. Actually, it's not that big of a miracle. But I'm gonna bank on it and say we'll have a full sub-tank by the time we're done with the boss rush here. So let's give it a shot. I'm going to try that again, though, with the special weapons thing for Shipuga. So we do a jump, air dash, and that... No, it's not working. So this is normal Shipuga. We'll use it all of one time over the course of this playthrough, and it's going to happen pretty much at the very end, so... what order should I go in this time? You know what? Excuse me, I started on the other side last time, so we'll go this way this time. So yeah, maybe you can't hit Web Spider with his weakness. Or maybe you can only hit it with his weakness when he's on the second phase. I don't know. I guess I could try to cut his web, like, while he's, like, by jumping up there. I do have a double jump, so if he comes down low enough to the ground, I might be able to cut the web with my saber. I guess we could try it. Nope. That saber shot went right through that web like it was nothing, like it weren't even there. So we'll just do it the normal way. Oh god. Ah! I did that wrong. And I did that wrong. Alright, it's fine. We're good. We're still good. He's in phase 2 now. Damn it. See, there you go. Well, it didn't quite get rid of all the spiders, but it was close enough. And we got them all the same, so I guess it doesn't matter. But I'm pretty sure weapon energy for Zero is completely useless, because as you'll see in a moment, I have 3 left on my Giga attack there, but it recharges with my life energy instead, so I don't actually get anything back if I was to pick up the weapon energy first. I wouldn't actually get anything back on it, so I don't know, it's weird. I don't know why it's like that. But whatever, not a big deal. Cyber Peacock? Oh yeah. Now he's actually not weak to the Tenkuha here. He's weak to Ryuenjin instead, so a little bit of a weird thing, but we'll make it work. There's a lot of bosses, from what I understand, weak to the Ryuenjin as well, so... Actually, I don't know that it's a lot. It's like 2, but it's still a significant amount. Both love and hate boss rushes. Yeah, it can get a little annoying, but here's the thing. In the X games, typically it's pretty tame, because it's like, well, by this point you have the special weapons for literally everyone you're fighting, so you can just stomp all over them like it's a cakewalk, basically. So, then again, that can be good or bad as well, because it's like, you know, at this point, why are they even in my way if I'm just going to curb stomp them like this? But, it's fine. And again, some people, when they play this game, like I was saying last time when I was playing as X, some people will play this game, and I was included in this count as well before I started doing the stuff for the streams. I would play this game doing it in weakness order, where you can get a weapon from the first boss you fight, and then fight the boss that's weak to that after that, and then fight the boss that's weak to that weapon, and just keep going like that. So it's made it even easier on myself, and this game's already easy enough as it is, so it's like, why would you make it so much easier on yourself? I mean, I get why I did it before, but nowadays, it's like, if I'm not going to get a little bit of challenge out of this game I've played 20 times in my lifetime, actually more than that probably, then what am I even doing, you know? I got to make it somewhat challenging. Got to give myself something to do, or else I'll fall asleep on stream, which could be, you know, funny in its own right, but not as entertaining for me as the player if I don't make it somewhat challenging. Because, I mean, would you really want to watch this twice in a row? Really? Like, I wouldn't find this entertaining, personally. Well, that takes care of that guy. Goodbye again, Jet Stingray. You were always a pushover, but I made it sound like you weren't at the beginning of Zero's thing. We'll go in a different order than we did in X's playthrough. We'll just go down this side and then go up the other side instead of doing like top half then bottom half. Split Mushroom this time. Now the thing about Split Mushroom, he's still weak to the electricity attack that you get from Web Spider, Raijin Geki, but the other thing you can do is you can erase the soul attacks that he has here, and then if you hit him with the tipper, well, you can reset his pattern here. It would have been preferable for me to not hit him with the tipper, but there we go. It's like I'm playing as Marth in Smash Brothers. But yeah, this is actually better for Zero, is to get him when he's fighting on the ground with his clone, because then you can loop him very easily like this. He only does it 3 times, though, when he's on the ground, even if you did it with Lightning Web with X. So, yeah. Like, if you waited to get him on the ground with X instead of doing it the way that I did it, where I hit him with the Lightning Web on the walls, he loops easier with X, basically, because you can just keep Lightning Web and then move away, Lightning Web, move away. With Zero, you got to get a little more creative, because you can't use Raijin Geki anywhere but on the ground, so. How are we doing on this sub-tank, anyway? Oh, we're getting there. We're getting there. We get 4 more of those life things before we're out of here, and then there's a full life in the next area through that golden teleporter. So we'll be in good shape. Actually, it's kind of a shame that Rockin' Fun wasn't here for the cheesy voice acting a few minutes ago, because that was what he was most looking forward to. Oh, God. Man, Slash Beast right out of the gate there. I think he's weak to the Tenkuha, but I'm not 100% sure. Or maybe he's not weak to anything. I mean, that's a possibility. So. I was thinking he was doing that. Oh, God. Phew. Getting sloppy. Okay, I meant to do that on the ground, but okay. Oh. Shouldn't have done that. Got him. Phew! That was a little closer than I would have liked it to be, but we'll be fine. Who do I fight after this to make that a little easier? Not Magma Dragoon. Well, I think Frost Walrus actually is the one up here in the next level, so he should be pretty easy to fight, even though I'll have slightly lower HP like this. I mean, it's fine. If I die on the boss rush, it doesn't matter, because I keep the I keep the progress that I made anyway, so it's not a big deal. Like, they checkpoint you basically every time you kill a boss, so. Anyway, for Frost Walrus, pretty easy. Just do that, and then do that, and that. Get away from him. But yeah, just scrape him basically with the Ryu engine, and then just get your licks in. You can also double jump over him, so. And he's dead. Like I said, pretty easy. Probably the easiest that he is. Like, even with X, Frost Walrus is pretty easy, but with Zero, he can just keep hitting him and hitting him and hitting him without having to concern himself with charging up a Buster Shot or anything like that. So that's usually the case with a lot of Zero's bosses, is he's got it pretty simple. He's very good against large enemies, you find, in the game. Whereas I think X is a little better against smaller enemies, because the smaller enemies typically are the ones with the most projectiles, and X can handle that because he has his own projectiles. So, Storm Owl's weak to Wekoha. It doesn't seem to do that much damage to him here yet, but wait until he gets closer, and well, yeah, significantly more damage. Now, it doesn't matter if I get hit here that much, because I'm actually getting back my weapon energy for Rikoha while I'm getting hit, so it's fine. Yeah, there's those iframes I was talking about, though. He can basically pass through you, and you'll be perfectly fine, so. Magma Dragoon might be a little rough with the HP that I'm going to have here, but I think we'll be okay. Oh, I did get some weapon energy back with that. Okay. Usually my Rikohas are pretty full anyway, so I guess I usually don't have a situation where I grab weapon energy. So, actually, this is should be okay. It's like we have about 5 or 6 hearts worth of health currently, so I think we'll be okay. Now, I'm not 100% sure if Magma Dragoon is weak to Raijin Geki, but it's the thing that seems to deal the most damage to him, so what I'm going to use on him if he gives me the opportunity like this. Ow. Especially like this. Like, that's why it seems like it's his weakness, because you hit him with it twice through his what's it called? Oh god. Hit there. Okay, we're good. We're still good, I think. Yeah, I should still be good. Hang on. Got him. Whew! Got one foot in the grave there, and the other foot's in lava. We're okay. I was considering using the E-Tank that I had just built up almost to full, but nah, we're good. We're good, fam, we're good. Okay, off we go. And I promise I will never say the word fam again after this. Because it don't make a lick of sense coming out of my mouth. Anyway. Good work, Zero. You're Sigma, so it was you. Yes, simply brilliant. You even defeated Colonel and Iris. You made me do it. No, you wanted to destroy them. Allow me to remind you that I was once the leader of the Maverick Hunters. Until... So you remember how they've been talking about Zero's backstory before and how X is going to have to destroy him?
That red Maverick that wiped out Garma's unit.
Now we're going to find out why.
Inside. He's inside that door.
You may leave now. I'll take care of this personally.
By yourself, Commander?
I don't want any more of my people being sacrificed.
So it doesn't seem like he was that bad of a guy previously, Sigma. I mean, maybe a little bit. He seems a little self-centered, but other than that, not bad. And then he met this guy. Might recognize that beautiful mug. Real question is, why aren't either of them just using busters or sabers or anything? They're acting in this game like neither of them had access to busters. When Zero was built with one, he just stopped using it. Or maybe it was the jump to the PS1 that they decided to make him stop using it. And they changed their mind later, but... There we go. Now we're getting into it. I don't know how that works out, though, how that thing doesn't just cut right through that steel pipe, but maybe it's made of unobtainium. Don't ask me how that works either, because I couldn't tell you. It's a sharp-ass hand you got there, Zero. So, this is how it ends. Just kidding. Now that head chip there that Zero had was sort of basically like his power core.
Look, it's Commander Sigma. Incredible.
Now I'm certain there's
And, well, I'll explain in a minute.
Take that, Red Maverick, to the repair center and call Dr. Kane. I wish to have that Maverick studied.
Where is Dr. Kane anyway? Did he finally kick the bucket?
Are you okay?
Is he okay? Are you kidding, man? Look at him. He got fucked up. Zero, you were a Maverick. What's your point? Are you that surprised? Ah, Zero, you're most impressive. Sigma, I will defeat you. Finally get to figure out what X did there. It was a pretty good scene, yeah, actually. It was, well choreographed, I think, especially for, like, an older, slightly older and not as high budget, animated cutscene. Oh, there's no loading screen here. Whoops. Anyway, what I was going to say was that W that showed up there on Zero's head chip, that's his control chip. It's up there in his brain, basically. The W is the virus that was causing him to, well, slaughter people, turn into a Maverick, and, like, the reason why Sigma was calling him a Maverick is because he was slaughtering a bunch of different Reploids. And I think it's implied, sort of, that when Sigma punched Zero in his power core, the virus transferred from Zero's power core into Sigma's systems, and that's why Sigma has gone Maverick. It's not entirely implied, it's just kind of, that's the impression that I get anyway.
Tremble with terror, you are finished.
Yeah, I don't know about that, Sigma. I think you're the one that's finished here. So yeah, same thing as before with Sigma's first form. He's weak to the Ryu engine, the fire attack. Do it twice, he'll appear on the other side of the room, jump up the wall, and jump over his head. Rinse and repeat, excuse me, till he's done. Till he's done burning. Gotta burn that cloak off of him. Then we'll be good. So you don't even need to double jump or air dash or anything. You can do it with a single dash, or a single jump. So you technically don't even need any of the upgrades with X to beat Sigma here. But, I mean, you know. I figured I might as well show him off. I'll be ready when you get out of my personal space. Jesus Christ, he's still doing it. I've been waiting for you, Zero. It's time for us to settle this! Sigma in Form 2 is weak to the electric attack, aka Raijin Geki. I have a hard time hitting him with it, though, so I usually just use the Z-Saber. Again, try to get his thing on the wall, get over his head, and with Zero it's a little easier to hit him while he's doing the eye lasers because you can double jump, so... I keep jumping the gun there. Kind of like that. He doesn't aim that, by the way, until he lets go of his scythe, so that kind of gives you a good idea of how its trajectory is done. And again, don't get it stuck in the floor, because when you get it stuck in the floor, it's a lot harder to dodge the projectiles that he uses. He doesn't use the eye lasers. He uses these weird tomahawk things that take multiple hits to kill, and they're little teeny tiny things that fly across the screen. It's all around a bad time. Speaking of having a bad time... You're finished, Zero. Iris is waiting for you. Bitch, don't you talk about her.
Prepare to become space dust.
Now, contrary to popular belief, every single one of these heads takes lots and lots of damage from Ryuenjin, even the fire head, which makes no damn sense. Now, this head is actually weak to Shipuga, so if you can hit him with it, cool. If you can't, it's a little hard to hit him with it, but if you can hit him with it, it's cool. So yeah, if I wanted to, I could Ryuenjin that fire head and it would die pretty easily, but I think we can get through without it. This part is also weak to Ryuenjin. I did not know that until, like, not that long ago, to be honest with you. Like, this year I found out about it. Actually, it's more like the end of last year. But with Ryuenjin, if he does this 5 laser combo thing, Zero rips him to shreds. He's almost already dead. Like, it's kind of ridiculous. Easy way to dodge the electric head, blow it up! Now, if I get lucky, I won't have to do any slash-dash canceling here. It's a technique that you can use to actually get rid of the junk that he spits at you on his other attack there. But we'll see how this all goes in a minute. Okay, he's being gracious today. Very gracious, because he's letting me kill him in 2 rounds here. Very nice. You shouldn't have, Sigma. You shouldn't have. Okay, so now we got this head to deal with, and we'll see what he gives me. Okay, so here's what I'm basically about to do. Now, what he's going to do here is he's sucking in garbage from all over the place, and he's going to spit it back out at us. Now, Zero does have the Kuenzan, the Kuenbu and Kuenzan to help with it, but there's no real, like, surefire way of 100% getting rid of all the garbage, I don't think. Although I could use Raijin Geki, maybe, to do it. I guess I could find out. But if it doesn't work, there's a way where you basically, if you hit the first Saber Slash on the ground, where he just does the quick slash and then do dash, and if you do that alternating very quickly, you can do a technique called slash dash cancel, where I keep using that first swing. Now, not only does it get rid of all the garbage, it also deals significant damage to the head version of Sigma here, because he doesn't have any iframes on it. So we'll see if I have to do it. Let me do this first to get rid of this head. Okay. And try, oop, okay. Try that. Okay, that worked pretty well. I mean, it's not, again, it's not guaranteed, but I might have to use a sub-tank in a minute as well, but the only problem with it, of course, is that it doesn't deal as significant damage to him as the Shipuga does, so, whoa. Okay, I'm gonna need a sub-tank here. That's fine. It's what we got them all full for, so. Yeah, the bottom head here is really the tough head for Zero, so just try to hit him with Shipuga where you can, so. Or, you know, totally whiff it and accidentally use Raijin Geki instead. It's fine. We'll be fine. Get back here! See, that's the problem, is that you'll go to hit the dash button to do the Shipuga, but you can't do it immediately after pressing dash. You have to actually dash first. So, okay, so I wasn't doing it quite right there, basically, but that's the general gist, is you want to have it so that he does the slash and then stop, and slash and stop, so. And if you do it over and over again like that, you can actually get away with dealing significant damage to Sigma. Now, I don't have it set so I can do it on the D-pad. If I did, this would be a little easier, but I'm gonna have to use both of my sub-tanks at this rate. Okay, hang on. I'm gonna use it right now for safety. There we go. Okay. Not having as much luck with slash dash cancel as I was hoping, but we'll make it work. It's fine. Do it this way too, where you double tap with the control stick or the control pad. If you double tap, you'll dash. So that actually worked quite a bit better than the other ways. I should have been doing that from the start. What's so funny? This weapon is aimed at Earth. No one can stop it. No! Goodbye, Zero! Oh god, oh, it's coming back! Yeah, sorry, I forgot to do the death knell scream with Sigma in the last episode when I was playing as X. So, gotta include that. It's we can't have this a Mega Man X stream through without Sigma having a scream like that. So, General Zero, I was wrong. Sigma, he blinded me to the truth. It's okay. Rest now. With my body, I can stop the weapon. But then you'll... It's over for this soldier. Farewell. General! At least we got to use both sub-tanks on this one. I was kind of worried that Sigma would force me to... Well, he was going to be so easy that I wouldn't have to do that, but, yeah. We figured it out eventually. Let's see what Zero's thinking about on the way home this time. Oh, he just got home. Okay. I think he just got home. Anyway. It's kind of hard to tell with these dream sequences.
So, this is what happened to me. This is my fate. I couldn't save anyone after all. Iris!
Please stop, brother.
Well, I mean, Zero, you insisted on picking a fight with Colonel, even though you knew that Iris was completely connected to him.
After all.
So, like she couldn't live without him. Essentially, it would make her go crazy if she was living without him, which is why she attacked him. So, yeah, apparently robots can get PTSD too. War is hell and war never changes, but we already knew that. And that's the game, ladies and gentlemen, again. So, yeah, I mean, it's pretty much the same story as with X's side. I'm not really sure which side I prefer, to be honest with you. I like X's side of the game because it's pretty much like... It's the PS1 equivalent, the new generation, quote-unquote, equivalent of what I was playing on the Super Nintendo, and I like all of the games on the Super Nintendo, so it's pretty good. The only problem, of course, is that starting from the PS1 era, they started to focus a hell of a lot more on Zero's side of the story. They did it more in this game to kind of give you an idea of his backstory, because they hadn't really given too much detail about the backstory, and then they dropped that hint in X3 about how X was going to have to kill Zero in order to finish it off. And they dropped that before they did this, so it's like they dropped it too early. They dropped it a game too early, saying, yeah, X and Zero are going to have to fight to the death in order to figure out who's going to save the future, because Zero was a Maverick, could probably become a Maverick again at some point, and he's not actually the kind of hero that he's being remembered for by the Hunter base. So yeah, they really went in on Zero's story to try to get in all the story details here before they got to X5, which was anticipated, even at the time of this game's development, I think, to be the last game in the series. I think they were kind of winding down on it, and they were starting to think about how they were gonna change the series up. Keiji Inafune specifically, I think, said he wanted to work more on Zero's story starting from this point on. So they were going to end the X series and then work on a series specifically for Zero. So that's why he gets so much attention in this game, because they wanted to make sure you knew all the details before you get into X5. I wouldn't say that that's good. I mean, it's good that they got it out of the way, but it just makes the game feel lopsided, you know? It makes it feel like X's adventure means basically nothing, and Zero's the only one that you really should play as. And he's fun to play as, don't get me wrong. I mean, I like playing as Zero because he's, you know, he's so... Like I said, it's kind of like a big, more action-oriented game than a shooter game when you're playing as Zero, because you can combo some moves together, you get all these crazy attacks that he can do. It's interesting, and it's not too bad to play, and he's definitely feels stronger than X in most situations, once you get him fully stocked out there and kitted out. But, yeah, I don't know. Game feels a bit lopsided. I still really enjoy it, like I said last time. It's just... It's... Like I said before, X3 is a game that I thought wasn't so good, and it's better than I remember it being. X4, on the other hand, is a game that I thought was incredible, but is not as good as I remember it being. Still good, just not as good as some of the games on the Super Nintendo, for me anyway. The battle has ended, but for some reason, Zero's memories of the past continue to haunt his mind. As a hunter, it's his duty to go after those Mavericks, and at the same time, he knows that it is his destiny to defeat his friend one day. 2 different people, 2 different fates. In the future, Zero's decision will lead 2 great hunters to tragedy. The future is coming. In one more game, basically. So yes, we won't find out how their story concludes until we get to the next game in the series, Mega Man X5. And that will not be on the next stream through, because we're actually going to be continuing with Final Fantasy XIV now that I've finished Mega Man X4. Just wanted to take a quick break from Final Fantasy XIV to get this out of the way, continue my coverage of the X series up to X6, and then we'll go from there. So yes, that's going to do it. I'm going to actually skip through this. We've seen this like 5 times at this point. That's actually going to do it for today's stream. Not that long of a stream, but it all worked out pretty good. And that's going to do it for... So I will see you again either in Final Fantasy XIV or when we get to Mega Man X5, depending on when you decide to join us next. Until then, everybody, thank you for watching. I appreciate you coming out to Twitch and YouTube to check out the stream, and I will see all of you on the next one that you join me for. Take care, and have a good night.